Assalamu alaikum dear students. Today we'll discuss about fixing comma splices. First of all, before discussing what is a comma splices, I would like to discuss about comma splices and few sentences as we have earlier discussed about these sentences. Basically, these comma splices and few sentences are also known as run ones, are sentences that contain two or main clauses incorrectly joined together. Dear students, as we have discussed in our earlier lecture, every main clause has an independent subject and verb, which means that clause can stand alone as a complete sentence. If you cram two or more main clauses together with incorrect or missing punctuation, you hurt the logical parade of ideas. A comma splices incorrectly joins two main clauses with the comma, and a few sentences has two main clauses joined with no punctuation at all. So today we'll discuss first of all what is a comma splice. A comma splice occurs when you use a comma to join two complete sentences without placing an appropriate joining word between them. The comma just is not strong enough to do the job of making one grammatical sentence out of two. So we'll learn to recognize what comma splices look like and be sure to avoid them in your essay. We'll discuss here some examples of comma splice. So the first example is here: I completed my essay, comma, I have not submitted it. Now look at a closely related grammatical error is the run-on sentence. It occurs when you join two complete sentences without any punctuation mark at all. Now look at the sentence: I completed my essay, I have not submitted it. So now look at that, there is no comma. I completed my essay, I have not submitted it. Fixing a run-on sentence is no different from fixing a comma splice. As I have discussed that comma splice, or you can say few sentences, these are also known as run ones. So now we'll discuss about some basic definitions. The grammatical term for a group of words that can stand on its own as a complete sentence is independent clause. To be an independent clause, the group of words must contain both a subject and a verb. In the independent clause, I completed my essay, I is the subject and completed is the verb. The grammatical term for a joining word is conjunction. Conjunctions refer to those words in the English language such as and, or, but, or, since, or, because that allow us to build more complex sentences out of simpler ones. The conjunctions and but are called coordinating conjunctions. Dear students, we have discussed all these things before earlier in our lecture. The conjunctions since and because are called subordinating conjunctions. It is not essential to remember these grammatical terms, though they can be useful for conveying important points about grammar. What really matters is to know comma splices when you see them and to be familiar with the various ways of fixing them. So we have discussed about comma splice. Now we'll see that how to fix a comma splice. Here are four straightforward ways to solve the comma splice problem. Understand the subtle differences between them and make sure you don't get into the habit of always solving your comma splice problems in the same way. Look at each comma splice in your writing as an opportunity to gain mastery over the tools for building complex sentences out of simpler one. So we'll discuss now some rules that how to fix a comma splice. Solution number 1 is use a period. The simplest way to fix a comma splice is to separate the two improperly joined sentences. Simply replace the comma with a period. The two sentences may sound a bit abrupt placed one after the other, but at least they will be grammatical. Now we have to see the example. I completed my essay. I have not submitted it. Now we have done. We have put a full stop here. But as earlier we have discussed this example, there was not such like these things. Now we were using the comma. A period may be your best choice for fixing the comma splice when any of the following conditions. Now when you have to use the period for the solution of comma splice, there are three, you can say, the condition are here. Number 1, the logical connections between the two independent clauses is self-evident. Number 2 is one or both for the clauses is long. And number 3 is the ideas represented in the two clauses are distinct. Now look at the example. I completed my English essay. Now I must go to library and begin research at once on my 15-page history term paper. So now we have to look at the second solution, use of a semicolon. If you want a simple solution to the comma splice but you prefer to encapsulate your two ideas in one sentence rather than two, then use a semicolon rather than a period. Now the things are going to be changed. With every rule we'll see the new thing here. I completed my essay. I have not submitted it. Now just look at the first example. I completed my essay. Now we have put here the full stop. Then we have started our next sentence. But if we go now look at this example. Now look at this. I have completed my essay, but we are using here comma. I have not submitted it. The thing here we have to notice that there is a comma, but later on we are using, as I have discussed here, we are using here period, and now the thing is going to be changed that we are using a semicolon. The things are going to be changed. A semicolon is probably the most appropriate remedy for your comma splice when the following two conditions hold. Dear students, in the first solution we have discussed the three conditions. Now you have to look here. Here we are using the two conditions. The things are here different. Number 1, the logical connection between the two independent clauses is already clear. And number 2, the ideas represented in the two clauses are very closely related, in particular when the relation between the two clauses is one of sequence, either a sequence in time or a logical sequence. Then a semicolon is just what you need. Now look at the example. I completed my English essay. Next I will tackle my history essay. Now the things are very clear with the example. Now the solution number 3 is use a coordinating conjunction. Like the semicolon, a conjunction allows you to combine your two ideas in a single sentence, but it has the added advantage of allowing you to indicate the logical relationship between the two ideas. In our comma splice example, the relationship is one of contrast. I completed the essay, but I have not submitted it, even though that would have been the expected thing to do. The coordinating conjunction but compactly conveys this sense of unexpected or contradictory. Now look at the example. I have completed my essay, but I have not submitted it. We are using a comma. In all, there are 7 coordinating conjunction. Now we are having the 7 conjunction. Number first is and, number second is but, number third is or, number fourth is nor, number fifth is for, number sixth is so, and number last is yet. They cover the most basic kinds of logical relationships that can exist between two separate ideas. Solution number 4 is use a subordinating conjunction. Subordinating conjunctions are similar to coordinating conjunctions in that they allow you to indicate the logical relationship between two independent clauses. However, unlike coordinating conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions lay unequal stress on the two parts of the new sentence. We can use subordinating conjunction although to solve our comma splice problem, and we can do so in two distinct ways. Now look at here the example. I completed my essay although I have not submitted it. Although I completed my essay, I have not submitted it. Now the things are very clear with the using of although. Here in the first example we are using the although after one sentence, as we have completed our one thing, and when we are going to start our second thing we are using the although. But in the second sentence we are starting our sentence with although. As the word subordinating suggests, we place less stress on the clause introduced by the subordinating conjunction. In the first example, the fact that I have not submitted the essay appears as an afterthought. In the second example, it is the point. There are a great many subordinating conjunctions in the English language. Here are a few of the more common ones. Now we have to look here. While, although, because, if, since, unless, whether, when, why, as, before, after, if, whether, that, once. Dear students, now we have to look at how not to fix a comma splice. Earlier we have discussed that how to fix a comma splice, but here we will discuss how not to fix a comma splice. Never try to join two sentences with a comma followed by a conjunctive adverb. The most common form this error takes involves joining two sentences with the word however. Now look at the example. I completed my essay, however, I have not submitted it. This sentence is still a comma splice. Learn to distinguish conjunctive adverbs from subordinating conjunctions. They do not function in the same way. Conjunctive adverbs should be used to begin independent clauses, not to join them. Here is just a small sample of many conjunctive adverbs that are all available to you. Notice that conjunctive adverbs can consist of phrases as well as single words. However, nevertheless, furthermore, moreover, hence, therefore, similarly, certainly, by contrast, in other words, in addition. Note that you can use a conjunctive adverb to help fix a comma splice, but you must remember to put a period or a semicolon in the front of the second independent clause. Number first is I completed my essay, full stop, however, comma, I have not submitted it. And number second example is I completed my essay, semicolon, however, comma, I have not submitted it. Now the things are very clear that in the first sentence we have put the full stop after essay, and then we have started the new sentence with however, and then we have put the comma, and we have finished with our sentence. The second one is I completed my essay, semicolon, but the sentence is same, however, I have not submitted it. A conjunctive adverb like however usually makes for a more formal and emphatic transition between clauses than the more casual conjunctions but and although. If you rely too heavily on conjunctive adverbs, your writing will begin to sound stiff. Save your however for when you really need them. Now look at here, he is saying that save your however for when you really need them. Number one, for emphasizing the key turns in your argument. Number second is for signaling a contrast between long complex sentences. Many stylists prefer not to use however right at the beginning of sentence. Now look at the example. I completed my essay in just one draft, comma, a process that took me only 3 hours, full stop. This last essay, comma, however, was mere 2 pages long, and I have learned the hard way that neglecting to revise my papers inevitably results in a weaker paper and a lower grade. Now after this we have completed with our today's lecture. Inshallah we'll see you with a new lecture. Take care, stay safe and stay blessed. Allah Hafiz.